Secretary Rubio, we have a president who is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government-backed company at the same time he is selling lethal weapons to that same government. Isn't that a clear conflict of interest?
I think no matter who was president, they would have to deal with the UAE. We have to. They're a member.
That's not my question. We can have a policy debate about how we should engage with the UAE.
You're making claims about corruption, and I'm answering that any president in the United States, I don't care who the president is, would have to.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are breaking down an absolute masterclass in how to dismantle a hostile, highly partisan media trap. Left-wing Representative Sarah Jacobs thought she could completely corner Secretary of State Marco Rubio during a high-stakes committee hearing. She tried to weaponize the horrific humanitarian crisis in Sudan to launch a deeply coordinated personal smear campaign. Chair recognizes Representative Jacobs. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary, I want to turn to the war in Sudan. This is, as you know, the world's largest displacement and humanitarian crisis. 500,000 people are facing famine. I saw firsthand the suffering when I visited Sudanese refugees in Chad. Earlier this year, and again yesterday, you reiterated that the Rapid Support Forces, a militia, is committing a genocide in Sudan. Is that correct?
We're very concerned about what both sides are doing, frankly, but the RSF in particular.
Correct. I agree with that. You also said as part of that, that all of our engagement with the UAE, we need to raise the fact that they are openly supporting an entity that is carrying out a genocide. And yet, President Trump continues to arm the UAE. In fact, he just blew through Ranking Member Meek's congressional hold on over $1 billion in arms sales, ignoring this committee's longstanding role as an independent check on major arms sales. And we can have a policy debate here about the merits of continuing to arm the UAE or not, despite this genocide. I had that same conversation with Secretary Blinken. But actually, I want to talk about the events that led up to that decision. So on April 30th, the Trump Organization, which Donald Trump still owns, unveiled plans to build an 80-story Trump Tower in Dubai. Then on May 1st, Trump's crypto company, World Liberty Financial, secured a $2 billion deal with an Emirati company with deep ties to the government. And only 11 days later, on May 12th, your department notified our committee that it would ignore Ranking Member Meek's holds on UAE arms sales. Secretary Rubio, we have a president who is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government-backed company at the same time he is selling lethal weapons to that same government. Isn't that a clear conflict of interest?
I think no matter who was president, they would have to deal with the UAE. We have to. They're a member.
That's not my question. We can have a policy debate about how we should engage with the UAE.
You're making claims about corruption, and I'm answering that any president in the United States, I don't care who the president is, would have to deal with UAE. They're a member of the Abraham Accords, number one. They've been incredibly cooperative on a bunch of other issues. We don't agree with them on 100%. We have concerns about some of the things they do, but this is called the balancing of foreign policy.
Secretary
it is
Rubio,
in our national interest to have a good relationship with the UAE, despite the fact that there are things we do we don't like.
Secretary Rubio, I don't disagree with you. I just visited the UAE a couple weeks ago and had these very same conversations there, but I don't think this is a complicated question. President Trump is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government while selling weapons to that same government who is enabling a genocide. Policy aside, are you really saying you don't think this is a conflict of interest?
No, you're making claims. The president's family owns a business, and they can conduct business anywhere in the world they want. The president's never once raised business deals in UAE when talking about it. Any president would have to have a relationship with the UAE.
Secretary Rubio, that's just silly.
The previous administration had one too.
President Trump has retained his ownership of these companies, and I have an image right here from World Liberty Financial's website. So the idea that President Trump is not the face of the brand of this company on top from benefiting from them, and it literally says on the website that Mr. Trump and his family members own a 60% stake in this company, that's silly. So we can talk about the policy merits. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you a very simple question. Do you believe it's a conflict of interest to have a president personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government while selling weapons to that same government who's enabling a genocide?
I don't accept the premise of your question. I think this has nothing to do with personally benefiting from anything. This has to do with the fact that in order to conduct foreign policy in the Middle East, you're going to have to deal with the UAE.
Mr. Secretary, this is a clear conflict of interest, and anyone with any common sense can see that. The president is personally benefiting from billions of dollars of deals, and he doesn't care at all about the people of Sudan who are experiencing famine and genocide. It's shocking to me that you can't admit that. It's clear that you seem more concerned about staying in Trump's good graces than sticking up for human rights and American values that you once were a champion for. With that, I'm going to yield the remainder of my time to Representative Olszewski.
Well, you make these claims about staying in good graces. You accuse people of being
Reclaiming my time,
corrupt.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr.
False.
Secretary. I appreciate a
do
softball
UAE.
for you, yes or no, since I don't have a lot of time, and I appreciate it. The chairman gives me a few seconds back. Softball for you. Would you, yes or no, as Secretary, find it outrageous for you to solicit or accept a $200,000 Rolls Royce from a foreign government for personal or State Department use?
That offer's never been made to me.
Yes, so you would reject that offer?
The offer of a Rolls Royce?
Yes.
I don't understand the purpose of that
You
question.
would.
That's a silly question.
The fact that you can't answer the question,
I
Mr.
just
Secretary,
answered. I said it's silly.
silly because you would accept it or not?
Of course not. Who would accept it? But no
Well,
one's
then
giving.
I think you should
But what are
maybe
you
perhaps,
equating that to?
Mr. Secretary, reclaim my time. I think you are an honorable man by most accounts, but the man that you work for doesn't. And the fact that he is soliciting and accepting a $400 million plane is problematic. And you should know about it. It came up in a Senate hearing. You should read about it, add it to your reading, because it is problematic for foreign policy. It adds to the corruption that my colleague just...
Sudan is committing atrocities and then immediately pivoted to aggressively attack our relationship with the United Arab Emirates. She accused the administration of ignoring congressional holds to push through a major $1 billion arms sale, but it wasn't a real policy debate. She tried to turn it into a corporate conspiracy, screaming about the timing of private hotel builds and cryptocurrency deals to claim there was a corrupt conflict of interest. She looked right at Secretary Rubio, expecting him to stumble, but Rubio didn't blink for a fraction of a second. As Jacobs tried to corner him with the narrative that the administration is personally profiting off lethal weapon sales, Secretary Rubio completely shut down the premise of her question. He didn't waste time explaining or apologizing. He delivered a reality check on how real-world diplomacy actually works. Rubio fired back instantly. I don't care who the president of the United States is. Any president would have to deal with the UAE. He reminded the entire room of a fundamental truth that the left constantly tries to ignore. The UAE is a cornerstone member of the historic Abraham Accords. They have been an incredibly cooperative partner on a massive baseline of regional security issues. Rubio made it clear that this isn't about private business. This is about the difficult real-world balancing act of global foreign policy. We don't agree with any foreign nation 100% of the time, and we have real concerns about actions taken on the global stage. But it is in the absolute, undeniable national security interest of the United States to maintain a strong, stable relationship with the UAE. Stand with the truth. If you are sick and tired of politicians using horrific global tragedies just to launch partisan attacks and score media sound bites, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the family. Smash that notification bell and never miss a breakdown of what's really happening in Washington. This is where Representative Jacobs tried to double down, desperately pointing to corporate websites and screaming about a 60% family business stake to prove her point. Rubio didn't take the bait. He calmly looked at her and called the entire line of questioning what it actually was completely silly. He noted that a leader's family is fully entitled to conduct legal business anywhere in the world they want, and emphasized that private business deals have never once entered foreign policy discussions. He completely exposed her narrative by reminding the committee that the previous administration maintained the exact same strategic relationship with the UAE. Rubio flatly refused to accept her hyper-artisan premise, putting his foot down and stating that conducting effective foreign policy in the Middle East requires dealing with the major players on the ground regardless of the left's constant distractions. Realizing her time was up and her trap had completely failed, Jacobs desperately yielded her remaining time to Representative Ilhan Omar, who tried to throw an absolute softball question to salvage the ambush. Omar aggressively asked Rubio if he would find it outrageous to accept a luxury Rolls-Royce or a multi-million-dollar plane from a foreign government. Rubio didn't just reject the question. He completely laughed it off. He openly stated that no one has ever offered him a Rolls-Royce and noted how utterly ridiculous it is to waste a congressional hearing on fictional hypothetical bribes. When the radical left realized they couldn't break Marco Rubio on the actual facts of Middle Eastern diplomacy, they resorted to petty name-calling, claiming he was just trying to stay in the administration's good graces. But the victory was already won. Rubio stood his ground, protected American national interests, and showed exactly why you cannot let partisan theater dictate global security. What do you think? Are you glad to see Secretary Rubio stand up against these media traps? Let me know in the comments below. Smash that like button and I'll catch you in the next.